First of all, let's start off this video with the fact that everything I'm about to say is allegedly. Okay, internet lawyers? Allegedly. But now let's get into it. What is the actual deal with this lawsuit, this frivolous lawsuit from Alyssa Mercante against Smash JT? And let me be very clear. It's not a question of if this is a frivolous lawsuit. It absolutely 100% is. Last I checked, calling each other names back and forth on the internet and then having to hear the words that you actually wrote down on your account read back to you by other people, and then throwing a hissy fit when you're caught lying and hiding the truth again and again in articles is also not a reason to bring forth litigation against Smash JT. And just because a bunch of randos hate you is also not a reason. And when a tiny fraction of those people come to you and say truly egregious things all on their own, I don't see how that can possibly be a reason to bring forward any form of litigation against Smash JT either. The fact that the entire lawsuit is frivolous is an actual fact. Now we have to figure out, why is a lawsuit really happening? What is the point of this lawsuit, and why so many people's time is being wasted? Who is actually benefiting from this happening? Why is this frivolous action being brought forth? And in order to do that, I think it's time to investigate. Oh, let's get to business.
JayViper is awesome. He's so good looking. He's got the crowd in awe.
Let's take a jog down memory lane real quick. Back to GamerGate 1. We have to remember that back then, journalists were found to be completely lacking ethics across the board to anyone who was paying attention. And these ethics were never corrected, and they remain in place today. Or should I say, the lack of ethics. So back then we had the whole Zoe Quinn issue. Let's pretend she didn't even exist.
I like that.
The fact is, access journalism in many forms was a major issue in GamerGate 1. And regardless of any accusations against Zoe Quinn, those persisting problems were covered up because they had a very convenient scapegoat that they created around Nathan Grayson and the people who were tired of being lied to and gaslit by journalists. GamerGate 1 was an absolute firestorm, and people did not have a proper voice. YouTubers and all those, they didn't have giant platforms, and journalists had a major monopoly on the voice of gamers, and they acted like they were the voice of gamers. The problem here is that the journalists around GamerGate 1, and really still today, really are the voices of the people who they have access to.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
And that includes publishers and developers and advertisers. Journalists do not speak for gamers. Gamers have to speak for themselves. Today, in this day and age, in GamerGate 2, we have YouTubers and content creators and people on X that stay on top of things and are the voice of gamers and allow gamers' voices to be heard. So with that power back in GamerGate 1, the journalists were able to use Zoe Quinn's lies to derail the movement into sexism and misogyny, and then keep their access and, of course, deflect all blame off of them in the mainstream. If you look at Wikipedia and sites like that today, you still have a hard time getting to the bottom of what the heck was going on in GamerGate 1, because these people are still in control of the reins, and they are holding on for dear life. This moves us conveniently into GamerGate 2. Hello, we're in the present. From my investigation, this is what's actually happening. There is an attempt right now to use Mercante's lawsuit against Smash JT, as frivolous and empty as it is, to derail once again the issue with GamerGate, and that is ethics in journalism. We saw it with her article. We've seen it surrounding all sorts of games, like the whole situation around Stellar Blade, and we had the Wukong incident. We know that journalists are absolutely cooked. The difference is, this time, the voices of YouTube and the content creators that represent gamers have a voice that they did not have before.
Good moo! Oh, you found your moo!
And they have an audience that is growing. This is frightening for the people that are in charge. They are scared to death as they hold on for dear life to keep their power. So if they can, they're going to use Alyssa Mercante's lawsuit to once again derail, except this time it's going to be into harassment and racism, and once again they're going to avoid the ethics and journalism problem as they try to duck under that train.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And this is why you hear people say that there is no GamerGate 2. This is really a continuation of GamerGate 1. So what else is this lawsuit document being used for online? Well, it's being used to target these voices that I'm talking about. The content creators on YouTube and X, they are being doxxed. Their real names are being put out there, and some of them, their address, as we've seen with Smash JT.
And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically.
We're also seeing this document being used to peddle actual lies. For example, it's trying to say they know where Hypnotic lives, even though they have no idea. And they're doing this based on a box opening on his manga channel. And the lawsuit also repeats her false claim that she didn't delete any tweets. Except we know she did, because we saw them disappear. And when you go and try to search them up now, they're nowhere to be found. I wonder how that happened. But here are the facts. Is that Alyssa Mercante got fired because of her own actions. And those actions and her words, they came back to haunt her.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And I would just like to put this out to everyone out there, that you shouldn't put everything online. Your whole life does not have to exist online. I promise you that it will benefit you not to put every single thought that goes through your head and type it out and put it onto X. Please, for the love of God, stop doing this, except maybe don't, because it's actually really great content for me.
The cruelest people got what they wanted, and most people in this industry just let it happen.
And when she got fired, the fact is, the industry, no, it does not support her. The reason being is because she's really just a useful idiot.
Allegedly. Remember, he said allegedly.
She is simply a hammer where everything that she sees is a nail. And they can aim the hammer at anything they don't like, and she will go and bang away at it. And she will make herself look bad in the process. And the thing is now she's stuck in a place where she cannot admit her bias. She has gone down the road. There is no returning. The fact is that she is still doubling down on her lies from Kotaku with the fact that Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what you think it does. We all know what they do. They are a DEI pushing company. We know this because they have said it in their interviews. We have heard it on stage from Kim Belair. We know what they do. They scare the hell out of companies to try to get them to change things the way they want them done. And it has everything to do with DEI, which they continue to push, as does Alyssa Mercante, as she circles the wagons around this company that is horrendous for gaming. And for those of you who think Alyssa Mercante does not still peddle the lies from GamerGate 1, well, I just have this to show you.
If you don't hate these women for almost single-handedly dividing the gaming community and creating an entire generation of toxicity in the hobby, you're on the wrong side of history.
This new version of GamerGate is dumber and crueler, led by even weaker men with the same goal, removing people they deem as other from their hobby.
And if you think powerful people are not involved with this whole situation, then you have to ask yourself, who is funding this lawsuit?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising.
She likes to tie GamerGate to Trumpism. Then she wants to tie Trumpism to the alt-right. And then she falsely ties Smash JT to the alt-right, and she did it 2 times in the lawsuit. Why else is this lawsuit going forward? One, she's not paying for it, so she can only benefit unless there's an anti-slap, and then I don't know who gets to pay that, but I can't wait to find out. But on top of that, Alyssa, as she has said many times, is writing a book. Oh, I'm sure it will be the de facto book on GamerGate. full of lies and half-truths and leaving out important context, because that's exactly how she writes her articles, so who's to think this is going to be any different? It isn't. And with every single step, she just gets more and more outraged as she lashes out at people online, and of course, constantly pushes the anti-white rhetoric that is so easy to come out of her mouth, which is absolutely horrendous and horrific. So to recap, why is this happening? It is to derail the gamers from fixing gaming once again and pushing ideology into games. The fact is that someone out there, someone who has money, people who are in control and are holding on to that power, know that they absolutely must have ideology in place in games in order for them to maintain that power. And I think that's an important thing to know as to why this lawsuit, as frivolous and ridiculous as it is, why it's important for them. It's important for us to defeat it, absolutely, but it's important for us to continue to push against this message that DEI for some reason belongs in games or in life at all. The fact is that the world and people are naturally diverse. That is correct, which is why you don't need these things at all. All you have to do is just be a normal freaking person, because when you're a normal person, equality happens all on its own. And people who push for equality are really pushing for power. And that's an important thing to remember. This lawsuit, it's all about power. And if you get only one thing out of this entire video, I hope it's that. Stay strong out there. Keep fighting against the bullshit. And while you're here, do me a huge favor and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so I can see you on the next one. Love you, man, and peace. Bye, everybody.
He's owning every game.